Good morning. Good morning. Well, it looks like Easter Sunday at church. It's so crowded in here. How about that? Good morning. 9:02. We gave us a couple of minutes to get everybody seated. Let's start with our roll call.
Commissioner Ashworth?
Here.
Commissioner Banks?
Here.
Commissioner Hassler?
Here.
Commissioner Thompson?
Here.
Commissioner Wild?
Here.
Lieutenant, would you lead us in the pledge this morning?
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning again, everyone, our visitors. Beautiful spring morning. In our open discussion, I just had one quick note. I wanted to congratulate our basketball squad. For those of you who keep score, Ball and Alou, this was year 5, and the series with SLMPD was tied. Don't step out, Captain. I need you. The series was tied 2-2 until the last Saturday, and in a very, very hard-fought, tight game, we were able to prevail. The county prevailed by 4 points, thanks to some last-minute free throws and a lot of effort. A lot of people help in making this thing work. It was something that we thought about 5 years ago, and it's really evolved. Couldn't do it without Brandon, who certainly McQuarrie, who does a lot of the legwork, as well as officers in SLMPD that meet up with us. Captain Cavaletti, our coach, as you recall, promised a victory. He guaranteed a victory. And our coach, Captain Cavaletti, did a heck of a job in getting them out there. I would be remiss, however, there were 2 SLMPD officers that were injured in the game on Saturday. Officer Cornelius suffered an ankle injury, and Officer Anderson a more serious Achilles injury. She actually had to undergo surgery on her Achilles. So I did reach out to both of them and thank them on behalf of all of us for participating and letting them know that they are in our thoughts. And we hope for a speedy recovery for Officer Anderson and her torn Achilles, which if anybody's had that, that's a pretty serious injury and recovery. That's all I have for open discussion. I think, Mike, you want to say?
Yeah, I'd like to recognize, we come in this room quite a bit, and I hope we never lose sight of the heroes of our department. But our counterparts in the city lost an officer a week and a half ago to a medical emergency. Officer Gregory Triplett. He had done 32 years with the St. Louis City Police Department. So if you'd all please join me in a moment of silence to remember him and his service to our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. Okay, we have some very important deputizations this morning for St. Louis Airport Police. Would you step forward? 3 of you. Good morning. Okay. Would you gentlemen raise your right hand, please? I state your name. Do solemnly swear
Chief's commendation.
that I am a citizen of the United States,
Got it. Thank you.
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States, the state of Missouri, and the charter and ordinances of St. Louis County, that I will faithfully adhere myself to the regulations provided in the rules and procedures for deputization as adopted by St. Louis County, and that I will faithfully demean myself as a deputized officer of the St. Louis County Police. So help me God. Thank you. And one further instruction, gentlemen. As a deputized officer of St. Louis County, you're hereby restricted to the protection of persons and property at Lambert St. Louis International Airport. Thank you. Congratulations, gentlemen. All right, congratulations. Yeah, I did. Take a good look at us now. Don't act like you don't know us when we get there.
Look, they're running.
I know, they ran to the door. Right, thank you. Okay, next we have the charter member recognition. Chief, are you taking that?
Yes, I am. Not Chief Cox on there, but I'm a little taller than he is. This was brought to my attention by Colonel Kleindeck some time ago about recognizing our charter members for this department. You know, we have a lot of things going on for our department now. Cars, we don't have to buy our own uniforms. We don't have to buy our own guns like guys used to do years ago. So these charter members here have brought us a long way. And I remember this young man here encouraging me to take the sergeant's test one day in a grocery store. Told him I wasn't ready. I worked for this gentleman here up in the North County precinct and a long time ago, and this gentleman here promoted me 3 times. So I have a lot of contact with these people and thrilled to introduce Colonel Kleindeck, who's going to recognize them.
Yes, thank you, Chief. I want to thank members of the board, our liaison, as clerk, been a big help on this project, as well as the other big project, maybe this room after a civilian who really was responsible for creating the county police. It's hard to believe that one man did it almost on his own. My job today is to, what are charter members here? What are you to get the charter stuff? And there's 4 things that the department adopted 10 years ago when we brought on the first 9 charter members. 4 things that have to comply with in order to be considered to be a charter member of the board and light chief. First, they had to be a member between July 1st, 1955 and July 1st, 1965, 10-year period. This group today of 7 within that group. Second, they had to serve honorably in the county police, from the proud ones back. Many serve honorably. This group served honorably for up to 30 years. The third thing is they, after receiving a pension at the time from St. Louis County as a retirees. Then fourth, it had to be recommended by the St. Louis County Police Retirees Association. We have our president and secretary here today to witness that. So those are the 4 things. So if you desire to be a charter member someday, those are the 4 things that you should consider putting in place. 10 years ago, the first 9 charter members came on board. As of today, 7 of those we've lost. We have 2 left. One is John Denny Robinson. You may have met. He's more notorious than I am, but he's a great officer who served college. The other one is William McDevitt. So we have 2 left. So there are 7 vacancies. And our job today with the board's Chief Gregory and the staff is to fill those 7 vacancies. So stopping there, I want to thank the board, our liaison, Commissioner Ashworth, helped make this happen. So I'll be turning the mic over to Commissioner. Would you like to?
I would love to say a few words, sir. Thank you very much.
Have you met Commissioner Ashworth?
Actually, normally I guess I'm pretty succinct to a debt, but I'm going to take a little bit more time. And really the purpose we're here is to thank you all for what you did in the past, right? You didn't know it at the time, what you were creating, but you created this, right? And you've given it to us over the generations of police officers. So thank you all very, very much for what you've done. We appreciate it more than you can ever realize. The board is just awestruck by the quality of this department, and you were the foundational pieces for that. Thank you. Next couple of comments are going to go to the rest of you. So those of you who are officers or commissioned, what's your badge number? To begin with a 3,000? 2,000? 4,000 maybe? 5,000? These gentlemen are all ones and twos. I think you're all 2,000s, right? 200, sorry. 300s? 300s, okay. Yeah, thank you. So stop and think about that. That's what I thought, 200s, thank you. So stop and think about how many people between a 200 and a 4,000. A lot of officers, right? We all owe them a debt of gratitude for this. It's pretty amazing. And when you think about what they started with, they didn't start with this, right? They started out with patrol cars that were, didn't have air conditioning. We didn't get that until what, Colonel, 1962, 1963? Nope, 69. Take it for granted, right? Got a first K-9 in 1960. Imagine how we would be as a police department without our K-9 unit. 1966, we just moved to 4-day, 12-hour work weeks. They went from a 6-day work week to a 40-hour work week. Impressive, huh? First bomb and arson unit was established in 67. First fugitive unit established in 69. But that's the easy stuff, right? The hard stuff was when they started, we were understaffed, didn't have enough people. They filled that gap. We were unfunded. We didn't have a budget. We're just going through a budget crisis at the county, and obviously it's hit us. They didn't have one. Talk about shoestring, right? Didn't have precincts. No place to call home per se, unless it was a gas station periodically, right, gentlemen? Inadequate equipment. Limited training. How many of you had full-time training when you came on as an officer? And probably as significant as anything, they didn't have any procedures, they didn't have any SOPs, they didn't have any policies. They've built that. We built it on their shoulders. That's pretty impressive, gentlemen. If I may, Colonel Kleinack, this is a heavy tribute to you too, right? The fact that they're sitting here, what you did, many of you may not know the history behind this, but when he first became chief, we hired him from the outside, he became chief. Shortly after becoming chief, he wrote a memo that it was important to, now he didn't have, I would assume you didn't know this was gonna end up in your lap someday, but he wrote a memo, probably with his wife's help somewhere back there, but to collect and preserve our history. And we know what his role is now, right? Collecting and preserving our history. Pretty amazing. And part of that history is ensuring that people like you all get recognized for what you do. So on behalf of the board, on behalf of this department and the people who we serve, we thank you all very, very much. Our tribute. Thank you.
Good morning. I have the enviable task of this scenario to run these gentlemen down. And a couple of them are kind of hard to find, and one I've known from years ago that I had to run down years ago, and he almost disappeared from the planet. Wesley Smith, who I used to work with. But here we are, we've got this, I call this the second generation of charter members. This is the group that starts in the twos. And we'll go through this together. And we're gonna start with number 1, Lieutenant Bob Goodman, DSM 235. He started January the 2nd, 1959. He's completed 30 years with the department, and he was in the Academy class number 5. Lives in O'Fallon, Missouri. 3 out of the 5 of his boys are here today. Numbers 3, 4, and 5. 1 and 2 are here. He numbers them. He numbers them. So we're gonna get this straight. 3, 4, and 5 are here today. They're his security entourage. And we got to see him on February 28th when he turned 90. 5 of them, all 5 of them, 1 through 5 came, 1 came from Florida, and we had breakfast together out at Sunset Hills Denny's like we do Saturday mornings. As well, then they took him down to the hill. Was it Zia's you went to? Then down to the hill, yes. And the last I heard, it may be rumor, but after a number of margaritas, he was running around with his walker with the lampshade on his head. That's the way he celebrated his 90th birthday, is that right? He's not even going, and I did ask him, however, the other day, I said, how do you like being 90? He said, I like it. So it beats the alternative. But anyway, we're glad to see you guys here. Thank you for coming and had a story about. Next, number 2 on the seniority list is Lieutenant Harry Wilde, 249. He started October 16th of 59. He's 88, 35 years completed with the department, Academy Class 6. He lives in Innsbruck, and he couldn't make it today. He's not driving anymore, and he didn't want to push the Ubers in his family to bring him again. He really didn't feel up to it, so he didn't make it today. Number 3, Sergeant Gebhardt, DSN 263. He started July 1st of 60, Academy Class number 8. And he lives in Fort Myers, Florida. Now, he's 90 also. He completed 23 years of service, and he couldn't make the trip. He's got a sick wife that he takes care of, and he couldn't make the trip up from Fort Myers, Florida. Sergeant Fred Phone, number 4 on the list, and he is DSN 277. Now we're working our way down. Now he's a younger guy. He's 87 years old. But he started September 18th of 61 in the Academy Class number 7. He had 37 years of service. He lives in Cave Creek, Arizona, and he wasn't able to come. He wasn't able to make that trip. But we talked, and this is one of the scenarios that you're involved in when you're dealing with the old timers. You're sharing stories, remembrances, embellishments accordingly, and et cetera, et cetera. But I did hear what a quarterback our chief was. I'm like, what a throwing arm he had. Is that right, Chief?
That's why I saw Jack up.
Okay, but I heard all about your endeavors on the football field, so that's great. We had a wonderful conversation. Okay, number 5 on this list is Sergeant Bill Pierce, 284. He started September 18th, 61. He was 90 on February 20th, and he was in the Academy Class of number 7. Completed 36 years of service. Lives in Florissant. He is 71 years old. Chief Patel, who brought me in, he was out in the precinct when we started, or when I started, wasn't he? He was out there. Yeah, and I hadn't seen him in years. I really like to see him. He wanted to be here in the worst way. He's got cancer difficulties he's dealing with. They couldn't be with in the public, but let me tell you about him. He's been married 71 years. He's got 31 grandchildren. He's got 29 great grandchildren. He's got 4 great grandchildren. It's got to be a federal police record. It's got to be. Just ask him if they were Catholic. I'm sure that would have been a rhetorical question. I would have wasted my time. But he'd have loved to have been here, and he called me back and apologized again that he wasn't able to make it. And we're going to miss him today. Les Wisdom, number 6 on this list here. DSN 289. I remember that 289 DSN. You flew with me in the helicopter, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah. Did I scare you?
They used to go by Clawmark on the wire.
That's right. Back in the early days of the helicopter unit, you may not know this, but everybody in the department had a chance to come and fly with us for a month at a time if they wanted to stay that long. Everybody. And so Les Wisdom came with me, and he flew with me for at least a month, I remember, but we had a wonderful time. And when I was talking to him recently, he was telling me more helicopter stories that I remember. So something was impressive to you at one point or another.
And he's like, no.
Well, it's great to see you, Les. I'm glad you could make it. He started September 18th of 61. He was in the Academy Class number 7, 36 years of service. He was 90, March 28th, just recently celebrated. I believe your granddaughter is here, and your granddaughter's husband, and 2 great granddaughters. Is that right? Are they here today?
Great granddaughter, my daughter is back, and I think she got here. My new daughter-in-law. Yep, I mean. And my oldest son, daughter-in-law. All of my children have passed with my wife.
Wow.
You don't get used to that.
No, you don't. Thank you for coming, Les. I really appreciate
So
it.
why is it in your office? Yeah, you're around pretty good.
That's good. I asked him when I called a few weeks ago to set this up. I said, "How you doing?" He says, "Good." He said, "My brain is better than my body." So that's it. Good to see you. I'm glad you made it. Great to see you. Wesley Smith. Now this is the youngster of the bunch. He's 86. And Wesley, he was at 298. He started 7/2 of 62. He served 34 years and lives in Bell, Missouri, at his cattle ranch. When I was talking to him recently, a number of weeks ago, I said, we were visiting, having a good discussion. And I said, "Jerry, I got to go." He says, "My cattle trough is overrunning, the water's running down the field." He says, "I got to go." So he lives out there, and I found him years ago, actually, through a mutual friend out in the Enrique area, where he worked for a couple of fellows that own a dairy farm out there, as I recall. And I hadn't seen Wes forever. And I ran him down through them years ago, and we got together for some breakfast out in Washington, Missouri recently. But yeah, good to see you, Wes. Glad you made it, sir. Glad to see you. Well, okay, that covers it for the old timers. And a couple of them weren't able to come, as Kurt Klein stated. Denny Robinson started 55. He started December of 55. He turned 98 on March the 16th. Bill McDevitt, DSM 157, he started September of 55. He's 94. And both of these older gentlemen, and they are true charter members, weren't able to make it today for physical reasons mainly. But okay, I think that's it. I want to recognize Chief Patel. Yes, sir, did you have something
I
else?
was just gonna say, Joel Devitt flashed into my mind. I figured he was still working today in communications. Didn't think he ever retired.
Might be. We saw him a few years ago. We came to Elsie's out at Brookdale, or not Brookdale, out at Stillwell Grove. He came to one of the events where his son brought him, who he lives with up in Forest. But he wasn't able to make it today. But I want to recognize Chief Patel is here today. He was my FTO. Good time riding partner. We had a good time doing 380. That's who we did it. That was great. And our president of our Retirees Association, retired Captain Monty Monteleone. And he is here, and our wives are here. Where's my darling wife? Well, there's my darling, very lucky wife. I didn't say that.
We're gonna give her equal time.
Yeah, I think that, and Colonel Clank's darling wife Pat is here, and she's a very lucky wife. No, Colonel Clank's very lucky. That's fine. I got that straight. Okay. All right. I thank you, everybody, for coming, and I appreciate it very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, Chief Rich will make some flat presentations.
Cool.
Wesley? Wesley Smith? You want to come up and take a picture with us? You got any family here with you? Come on. Here, right here. You get in the middle. You get in the middle. Come on. Yes, sir.
I'm a trainee, okay?
That's all right. Here. That's yours. Over there.
Something else to put on the wall.
There you go. Thank you.
He's also receiving a pin. It's white.
Which one, Robert?
He's in the charter member. While they're seated, I wouldn't make them get up.
Okay, all right. Robert Goodman. No, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. Right there. Nice seeing you again, sir. It's yours,
Oh, okay.
and that's your pen.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, okay. And Lester, this is for you, sir. There you go. You can hold on to that. Okay? Thank you all. Thank you, Tom.
You got to organize it.
Do it outside.
So at this time, I'm going to ask all the charter members, official charter members, we are going to be excused from the meeting and we're going to step outside for a photo. If that's okay? Family members, you can join us as well. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay.
Hey, Monty.
There's cake and cookie in there, inside there. I thought that was our conference. That's what it says on the door. Door, it says board conference.
Coming.
Does it not?
It says that.
Okay, I just want to get, okay, okay.
Thank you, sir. All right.
I just want to make sure.
Can't have wood for
As far as I
only have, you know.
Nice recovery, good recovery. That's for all the members there.
All right.
Yeah, I'll see you back at the cake and
Hey, you can tell.
No, we're gonna do these. We're gonna do these first. We're gonna do these first.
They're gonna recoup their money. Good to see you, buddy.
Okay, yeah, they are. So Chief, we have a promotion, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Phyllis Ramos, want to come up, please? Phyllis is being promoted from records room clerk to supervisor in the record room. Congratulations to you. Thank you. That's yours, ma'am. You got any family here with you? No? Want to meet the board?
Congratulations.
Yes. I was gonna say, I was wondering where the hand clap was. Thank you, Phyllis. Congratulations to you. Okay. And we have a citation to Detective Michael Clinton. Mike, want to come up? All right, congratulations. It's yours. Okay, one more. Lieutenant Granda?
Running for office. What they're doing, taking pictures out there probably with the group. Looking pretty sharp, man. It's like you're running for office. You got my vote.
Absolutely.
We're running for office.
Doesn't he look like, he's got that look.
It's on the counter.
Oh,
On the
Fill that
counter.
up.
well,
Box for it.
does it matter what I fill it up with?
Right, right.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Chief, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to introduce you to Detective Michael Clinton. He's receiving a Chief's Commendation today, not for any one singular act, but for sustained effort over the span of several years, all with excellent results. His dedication to the field of cryptocurrency and law enforcement's ability to handle crimes involving digital assets is second to none. He's developed himself into a subject matter expert in the field, recognized locally, regionally, and nationally. At the local level, he started what began as the St. Louis Cryptocurrency Task Force. It grew quickly, and today it spans about 14 states and involves about 50 investigators, analysts, and special agents. At the national level, he's a part of an Operation Shamrock, which is another collaboration, and then also he hosted in January of this year the 2026 Crypto Coalition, which brought together approximately 165 professionals from about 130 different agencies here to St. Louis for a few days. This is kind of uncharted waters. A lot of law enforcement does not have the ability to handle these incidents successfully. It's very complicated, and he is moving the needle in this field. Mike, thank you very much for your efforts today and every day in this.
I don't even know what cryptocurrency is. So you can, you can explain all that to him. Monopoly money. All right. The chief is out still taking pictures. The chief is still taking pictures. We have his report, but we can move on and do a couple of other items real quick on the communications. We'll knock that out. We don't have any incoming, outgoing.
Sir.
Okay. All right, and then,
Hey.
oh, no, oh, I'm sorry, you're right, thank you, Madam Secretary. We have to, item G, look at the minutes from the March 18th meeting. And up on review, is there a motion that we approve the minutes from March 18?
So moved.
Second.
Right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, great, thank you. That takes care of G. Chief, if you're ready to go, well, we just took care of a couple little quick items,
Okay.
waiting for you.
Terry?
Oh, we should, I guess, Chief, will we ask anyone if they want to stay for the nuts and bolts of our meeting? I think we were already kind of pared
I
down.
think there's paragraph.
It's already pared down, but if anyone wants to leave before we get into the good stuff, they
Terry?
can.
All right, Sarah, you up.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah. Yeah, we got enough to vote if we don't have anything to vote on anyway. He's out in the hall, so it's okay. Sir? Morning to you. More want to come, they want to come in and hear you.
Get the reputation.
Morning, good morning.
Same as last time, we are just watching the budget, we're addressing concerns as we see them come up, but haven't really had a whole lot so far. We're still meeting with Councilman Harder once a month, keeping him updated on our budget, and not looking at any sort of transfer or supplement until the third quarter. So, am I good?
You can continue. There's just
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
go ahead.
Okay. Did anyone have any questions regarding the Excel files
Questions?
that I can address?
You're lucky Commissioner Ashworth is in the hall. Talk fast. Talk fast before he gets back.
One of the things that the county, One of the things the county council had asked us to try and make sure we paid particular attention to was the overtime hours. So I congratulate everybody for the reductions there. That's phenomenal.
Yes. Anything else? Any comments, questions? Anybody?
So we're gonna expect to see a spike in crime since the overtime's down?
Doing more with less, sir.
They gotta have a break, man. We gotta.
Thank you. I don't think there are any more questions. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
All right, crime data?
Good morning.
Nope.
Okay, so this is our Q1 meeting, so we'll have a little more data than we usually do. Open all questions. This is our map of our failure to yields. The heat map, about 51% are occurring in North County and Jennings, which we see typically. Compared to last year, we're down about 40%, which is a good number. We want to see our failure to yields reduce because it hopefully means that more people are stopping. For specifically our patrol stats, we are up in every category. We have 285 felony arrests made by patrol, which is up 45. 95 guns were seized, which is up 23. And 367 misdemeanor arrests, which is up 83. So great job done by patrol in March. For our crimes against persons, homicides are down 40%. There's 6 so far this year compared to 10 same time last year. Most categories are down with a total of 1.6% compared to last year. We do have the aggravated assaults up 3.2%, and the subcategory of knife cutting instrument is 105.3%. Of the 39 offenses, those are 31 reports. I looked into all 31 of them, and 81% are either domestic or familial in nature, and that's something that we just can't really predict well. But there's also the hands, feet, and fists is up about 6%, and then assault intimidation is also up 38.4%. These are our homicide infographics. There was 1 homicide within St. Louis County Police patrolled boundaries in March. Crimes Against Persons has investigated 11 homicides so far, to include county and municipal homicides. Or crimes against property, again, most of the categories are down. We can see about a 40% reduction in robbery, and all of the subcategories are similar with their reductions as well. Overall, it's down 8.2%. Our larcenies are down just 2%, but then the all other larcenies is up 20.6%. And all other is just anything that doesn't fit into the categories of motor vehicle parts and accessories, or shoplifting from buildings. For society, also, most of them are down. We have the drug equipment and paraphernalia that's up about 60%, but that's from the self-initiated activities from officers, typically, what they find when they are conducting their searches. Overall, crimes against society is down 11.2%. Crimes against persons, property, and society combined is a 6.8% decrease compared to last year, same time last year. For our calls for service, in March, every single precinct had more than the moving average for the 5-month moving average. So they were getting more directed calls than typical. And then for the other side of that, the self-initiated, most precincts are also above that as well, but we have a couple that were below. And top calls, this is pretty typical, but this is just for March. We have sick cases, the top directed call, and then traffic stop is the top self-initiated. It'll either be traffic stop or extra patrol typically, unless it's July, and then it's usually fireworks. For our traffic stop data, this is the overall numbers for March. The traffic stop committee will be receiving Q1 data soon, and then they'll schedule their meeting to go over the individual officers And then Captain Bland may have something to share at the next meeting. Any questions? Okay, last slide, we will have Lieutenant Conradi speak about some of the BPS stats.
Hello.
Morning, sir.
Morning. I'm John Conradi. I'm lieutenant in BPS, and we only have one slide. I just want to give an opportunity. We don't speak at the meetings very often, but just wanted to give you a quarterly look of what our numbers are and see if you guys had any questions. You can see a relatively substantial decrease in vehicle pursuits and vehicle accidents, but everything else seems to be holding steady, pretty consistent with what we would anticipate when we see crime start to drop a little bit like it has been.
Lieutenant, does that include the vehicle pursuits? Why, that's pretty substantially down. What's driving the reduction?
As Captain Price and I've looked at it, it's, I think some of our crime operations, VCR or VCI, things like that, we've changed directions in a lot of those, and that's driven those down quite a bit.
Thank you.
There are stiffer penalty for pursuits also with the Antonio Valentine law, so it helps.
Excellent point, sir.
All right, wonderful. That's all I have.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lieutenant?
Lieutenant, before you jump in, Terry, do you mind coming back up? I've got 8 or 10 questions on the. Yeah, I know. Lieutenant, before you do, I do have, it's more of a comment, which is one of our very few manageable expenses is overtime, and we're doing a very nice job of that. So I think we should all say thank you because that keeps the.
Did that.
We did? All right. That wasn't polite, shut up.
No. I got it. We did reserve the right to recall the witness if you need her, but thank you.
Thank you, Terry.
Good morning.
Morning.
Go over the March stats for human resources. I know we presented pretty recently, so not a whole lot of change, but I did have some updates for everyone. Pretty normal numbers, March of this year to March of last year. Resignations for commissioned were even at 1 versus 1 last year. We've had 3 retirements thus far for commission. This year, we had 5 last year. Going into pro staff, our resignations are up by 1 versus last year, and retirements are 0 to 0 either year. Obviously, following up with that, resignations for commissioned is at 1 for March, 3 retirements in March. Pro staff, we had 2 resignations and no retirements. Some of the training and recruiting, Academy Class 213 is still underway. They'll graduate June 25th. As of right now, we're still at 15. 214 will start June 29th. They'll graduate December 17th of this year. And I'm not going to say a number, but we're going to be looking okay on that.
Whoa, not that easy.
I would say let's just go low to mid 20s.
Okay, thank you.
Like to know, I think we're trending towards that. So for Dispatch Academy, we're looking at July 13th. The goal there, and I think we're going to easily get that because we're halfway there already, is 12. That's the max we can have in a Dispatch Academy. So we'll max that out. And the good thing about that is if we fill that 12, that keeps us, we're about 5 short. So I would anticipate probably by Christmas, Dispatch, at least on our current numbers, would be fully staffed. Now, of course, we might have some resignations or retirements, so we'll see how that goes. But if we can get it to a manageable where we're just kind of doing a little bit of maintenance as people go, that's easy to do. Some updates for all of you. Like I said last month, we need 10 more security officers and security services will be fully staffed. So we have 5 that are just about done, and that's going to be a tremendous accomplishment just in the sense that that'll put us at 5. We have somebody for all of those 10 vacancies. So I would say by July or August, we'll be fully staffed in security services, and that was a huge concern earlier this year. So we'll meet that need. Obviously, I discussed the dispatchers. That will put us in a good spot by December. We've been in communications with Director Claiborne and all of them at Communications, and I think we're trending to get us there. This year, we have hired 32 new employees. That's 12 commissioned police officers and 20 pro staff. And we are authorized 435 pro staff. We're at 405. We're about 100 commissioned police officers still off the mark. So that's the goal, is to get us there. So hopefully we can make that number go down a little bit with police officers. They're the toughest ones to get on board. So we'll see what we can do there. Any questions?
Yeah, I do have two. Is it, and they're both the same question, just in the two different groups. Is it fair to assume, or a quarter of the way through the year, that if you multiply each of those numbers by 4, that we're going to have about 130 hires the course of this year? Is that a fair way? Can we straight line it that way?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we're going that way. That's our workload. So, and we've had quite a few. It's been a tough first quarter, and we've had a lot of people that you get to a certain point and they just don't work out. They withdraw, they don't participate in the process, just the background process alone. So if we had a good period where we get some really quality applicants, that could actually shoot up quite a bit. So we'll see how that looks. We'll see how that looks in June, maybe even, call it the fall. I think we're going to be looking pretty good. So the numbers look good.
And the same thing for commission, based on the numbers we have, we will have somewhere around 48 this year?
Right. And as we get some of these positions filled, it's background investigators that don't have to worry about those positions as often. So where we're looking at, 17 dispatchers, if we don't have that workload, they can be doing commissioned police officers or recruits. So we'll see what that looks like. I'm optimistic when you look at it, and we're fighting a little bit of the, some of these things turn very slowly when you're looking at the hiring process, especially in police work right now. So it's a tough fight, but we are getting some positive. We hit that 99 commissioned mark. 99, we haven't touched double digits in a long time. So hopefully we can keep going in the right direction there. So I think we've made some progress. So hopefully we keep doing that.
Historically, with what goes on in the economy and what's going on right now, companies laying off, this alleged AI stuff, and alleged isn't to say it is or it isn't real. It's just we don't know yet. Does that open up opportunities for us to recruit differently, or at least have another track of recruiting in addition to what we have now?
We've had some really good recruiting events. We're really keying in on a lot of our law enforcement training programs that are out there. Of course, we're getting more veterans. We're getting a lot of experienced police officers. Those are always tough because there are a lot of veteran police officers. So, usually that's the background process. We get them through polygraph. We put them in a final review board and see where they're at. But it's just been a challenge. It seems like the numbers are good initially, but then they kind of fall off. A lot of people have their irons in a lot of fires, and they kind of take the first job that comes their way. And some places don't do backgrounds like we do. So, but it's just, we want the standard and we want the quality employees. So that's what we're looking for.
Speaking of the background, do you think you need any assistance with the background investigators on the front end? Because I know when we talked initially about the process, it seems to me that was the challenge was more on the front end of the recruiting side.
Yes, sir. I think we're looking pretty good right now as far as the staffing number that we have doing. We have 3 commissioned police officers, detectives that are doing backgrounds, and we give them 10 files at a time. So they're doing a good job. The workflow is awesome. I mean, they're grinding. So we've had a ton of processes that have been completed. So I know we have a final review board tomorrow that's got a few people on it as well. So they're moving in the right direction. We'd always like it to be faster, but it's a challenging time. So I'm glad we always have pluses. So it's always a beautiful thing when you see things going in the green. So.
How often do, not you personally, but you guys kind of get out throughout the various departments to look and see how things are operating? Because in some of my tours and so forth, I noticed a few places they seem to be a little short, like some of the labs, for example, and things like that. Need some highly specialized type positions, I understand. I think so much so where you've had some retirees that were kind of working part-time in some of these areas. And so,
And we do that as well.
yeah, yeah, and so it just seems to me that there's a great opportunity for some new younger people to get into some of these areas, and you could probably even save a few bucks paying 2 or 3 retired part-time people versus one full-time young person. So
We have-
has anybody
our
really
intermittent
looked at
numbers have gone up quite a
that?
bit too. So our intermittent employees that are retirees or whatever, they come back, or part-time employees.
Mm.
So it's going well. So we'll see how it is. We're monitoring it and kind of see how our numbers if they keep going up, we're in the right direction. I think if we can get some of these things full. We used to talk about a lot of our pro staff positions. I know Captain Schaefer and I were talking this morning, and we're looking, security officers are pro staff positions, dispatchers count as pro staff positions, but all the other pro staff positions that we have, we're in that maintenance phase. So a lot of our records clerks, things like that, we are doing maintenance on those. So we're just getting everything up, and then we'll have more resources available to do commission backgrounds, which will be in the right spot. We don't want to go too far over, and then we get closer to fully staffed, and then we have people just, not doing much.
That'd be a nice problem to have. Why don't we get there
It would
before we
be.
make that
It would be,
decision?
right, it really would. So that's the goal. So we're working on it. Any other questions?
I have one more.
Yes, sir.
And it's along the lines of, based off of what Commissioner Thompson said. So the substantial number, we're familiar with the commission gap and why. The number of people that we have, what was it, 35, 30-ish that were on the pro staff, 30? Where are the biggest gaps?
Dispatch is 17.
Yeah,
Now, that includes a 12 dispatcher overage that they're authorized. They're -5, but they're authorized to go 12 over that. So that's -17, and security we're 10 off, and about 3 pro staff
Okay.
in headquarters.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yes, sir.
clarifying that.
Absolutely. Anything else? Thank you all.
Thank you.
You gentlemen mentioned something about overtime, and that's something that the council has been on our case about for quite some time. I think they're pleased with the numbers that we're showing. It's not a command staff meeting that we have where that's not discussed, and these commanders that are running their units are led by Deputy Chief Cox, are making sure that overtime is really dealt with. Terry in her office does a great job in giving us the numbers so that we can track everything with overtime, and if we keep on the path that we're going, hopefully it'll get better. I'm sure they realize that even though the hours are down, the salaries are up because of the pay raises. So you got to deal with those numbers, but we're working on it in a good way. Captain, you're up from Wildwood.
Morning.
Morning.
I'm Mundell. I'm the commander of the Wildwood Precinct. Wildwood incorporated 1995, and we were their police department from the start. Started with a pretty small detail led by a lieutenant, and had a sergeant assigned with him, and a small staff. At that initial point, there were 2 to 3 beats on a daily basis. They've obviously had a lot of growth in residential and commercial areas out there, and with that population, and they have kept with those increases by increasing their policing staff. I believe at this point we are adequately staffed. I'm proud of the fact that we can handle pretty much anything that comes our way without having to tap any resources outside the precinct. And I'm probably most proud of the fact that we had a tornado that went through Wildwood a year or so ago. We had full beats, five cars on with a supervisor, and they pretty much handled everything that came out. They were extremely busy, but the guys handled the call, moved on to the next thing, and what we didn't know at the time was where that tornado went and caused other issues downstream that were really a draw on resources. So the fact that we kept pace with what we had coming at us, is certainly commend our guys that are capable of handling the job, and the supervisors assessing what's happening and handling it. So kudos to them. On top of our current staff, we have 4 school resource officers with the Rockwood School District.
They cover the high school, one officer at high school, and we have 3 middle schools, and there's an officer at each of the middle school. Our police aide, we have one. Her job is to pretty much handle the desk day to day, but she also works as a liaison with the court and with the prosecutor's office there in Wildwood. So she does a lot of the clerk work for the court and works with the assistant in the prosecutor's office to make sure cases are handled and move through their court system. Wildwood is extremely large, 68 square miles roughly, same size as the city of St. Louis. Had one of the councilmen asked, based on population, should we have more officers? How we assess that? How many officers per 10,000 people? And I said, well, let's take the city of St. Louis as an example. They have roughly 1,000 officers, 300 and something thousand citizens. So if you do the math, Wildwood should have 100 officers. And they said, we're good with what we got. So that's looked at pretty regularly as far as our staffing. Going to 12-hour shifts did help us. When we did that, we were fat, honestly, and redid the contract and moved 2 officers out of Wildwood. They were used, but not where we really needed them. They came out of our support staff. Our support staff is NPOs, park officers, traffic officers, on top of the officers that handle beats. As far as size, 20% of the city is park property, whether it's conservation area, state park, Greensfeld or county park, and city parks and trails. So that's very important. We get a lot of positive feedback with the fact that we have officers that are strictly involved in the parks, out on the trails. I rely on them to know the topography out there, that when we have an event in the park, when somebody describes it, they know where they're going and they know what they're looking for to get there to help them. We currently have 5 beats. We cover the city very well, I think, with 5 beats. We have beat plans to accommodate 4 or 6. We go to 4 occasionally. We don't have 6 a lot, except the beginning of the year when nobody's on vacation. We tend to have some extra bodies. But typically, we hit the 5 mark most often. We have 2 of our officers, our traffic officers. Traffic is a big deal in Wildwood, so they do a good job with that. We have 1 precinct detective NPO or /NPO, so he's does double duty there to help us handle our issues. We handle security for City Hall, city events, the court. They have a lot of special committees, and occasionally we have to sit in on those meetings. They get out of hand occasionally sometimes. So they host about 25 events throughout the year, and with that, we provide security pretty much at all those events to ensure there's police presence. That is mostly done on overtime. The good thing is that Wildwood budgets for overtime, so all that is reimbursed. And we usually don't spend what they have budgeted for us. So there's wiggle room there. If a special event comes up, we can handle that. Operational plans, we have an operational plan in place for every event, whether it's for traffic crowd control or emergencies that might happen at those events. I put this kind of in big letters because this is our day-to-day functions. I'm in touch with the city administrator, director of public works, or the director of planning for code enforcement issues, traffic projects. As they do development, they want our input. So it's a very good partnership that they want the police involved when they're making their plans for the future, that we're at the table with them to be involved in those discussions. A lot of committees, that's for sure. So, like I said, traffic is our main focus for the most part. Biggest complaints, are traffic related. Highway 100 is a main east-west artery. Highway 109, main north-south artery. So when a crash happens on one of those roads, we need to be responsive to that and get it cleaned up because it stops a lot of traffic movement in those directions. So as far as crime, this year our crime increases have been pretty much minor assaults. And for us to move the crime needle It takes one incident with a bunch of kids, and our assaults go up 300%, and there's really, 5 kids involved in something like that. So as far as our crimes against persons, we typically don't have a lot of concerns or issues there. Our biggest issue is fraud. And looking at the other precincts, just in the first quarter, our fraud, outpaces all the other precincts. So it's all, confidence calls. Somebody calls with some bogus story or sends an email or a text, and people, before they know it, they're going and depositing money into a Bitcoin machine, or they're getting gift cards and they're passing on the numbers, and they realize after the fact that this really didn't make sense, but I just gave away thousands of dollars, and there's really no way to track it and get it back. So for that, we've done several fraud prevention seminars, and we'll try and do some more of those this year. In addition, we always go to the HOA meetings. They typically will have those at the city hall, so we're there anyway to be part of that. We use their social media. Occasionally, we have car clouding situations. It has become pretty rare, actually. Last year, we had one at the beginning of the year, and then at the end of the year. But pretty much the entire year, we had very, very few incidents. I attribute the success there, or our lack of that, is better prosecution, both at the county level and in the city of St. Louis too. So we're pretty happy with that. I think that is all I got. Any questions?
I had a question. How has the expansion of the community college campus of Wildwood impacted you? Because that campus pretty much doubled with that recent expansion.
Yes. So when that was happening, they built their new buildings. So I was in touch with the president. We worked through communications, because now it's a new building, potentially different calls, different address, that type of stuff we worked through. And I was kind of surprised, because I'm thinking that you got these, it's more or less 2 buildings back there, but it's
Right.
a large joined building. What's the population that's going to come here? Because we really got the infrastructure in place to deal with traffic. And it ended up, it was like 70 students. And I'm like, okay, so you've doubled. But so it's a nice campus. They're very proud of it, obviously. They do good work back there. But the overwhelming amount of
Impact
students,
hasn't really been that.
and I think that's what they were looking at. They were looking probably close to 100 students being added there, for multiple classes throughout the week. So traffic, it really hasn't impacted. And like I said, they do a good job in managing.
I think they were a little anticipated more challenges than they really had. We did the original and the expansion, and I saw the change that our company did. So
Right. There's good programs, and they have, like EMT medical type programs.
right. Have you seen it? Have you been in? Have you seen their EMT?
Oh, absolutely.
It's pretty nice.
We toured the building right before they opened. It was kind of.
And they do drone training there too. So
Right.
do you all utilize any of their training?
They have invited us. The city keeps promising to get me a drone, but they haven't yet.
Right.
It's their money, obviously.
My last question is, have you had any, challenges dealing with some of the families like the Chifanos who have llamas and alpacas out there? Have you guys? Okay.
Occasionally a horse will get loose, something like that, but nothing we can't handle.
All right. Thanks.
Captain, I have one question as you're wrapping up. There used to be, I'm going to call it a teen work group. I assume there are people young kids who were caught drunk or doing something, and they would walk around the neighborhoods and around the community picking up garbage. Do we still do that?
No.
Why not?
So that was run through the city's courts as a alternative community service project, obviously. Initially, it probably did really well. It slowly turned into, they'd have 6 people scheduled to come in, and 3 of them wouldn't show up. And on top of that, we were the
Babysitters.
the monitors.
The babysitters.
Right. So and that was I think that was a part-time job that they paid for an officer to monitor that and be their chaperone, more or less. But it became, we're we're paying an officer to show up, and then out of the 6 people, 1 person shows up. So this cop's gonna follow this one guy around all day or half the day. So for them, it really wasn't beneficial, and they felt that the participants were losing interest in it, so they ended it on their own. So.
Thank you.
Spoken like a Wildwood resident.
Well, so I'll play the cyclist, the bicyclist out there. You don't see it when you drive down the roads, the amount of garbage and trash that gets thrown to the side of the road. And part of what these work units would do, the kids would walk along and pick it up. And it was mutually beneficial, right? They did their public service, and we assigned the public service to keeping the roads.
Captain Morgan's presentation will be more.
Yeah, you'll hear a little more out of first.
Hey, that's why we live out there.
Good morning.
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 I was told to speak into the mic because I'm very light-spoken, so I'm speaking to the mic. From our last meeting, you know that Lieutenant Jordan is the comical person in the precinct.
That was Lieutenant Simons that laughed at you, sir.
All right. We have a meeting later on, so we'll get to that. Before I get too far into the numbers, I want to start off by saying that North County Precinct itself in 2025, we answered over 90,000 calls or had 90,000 police interactions last year. Throughout that time period, we still were able to reduce crime through all the major categories, and we'll go through some of that here in a second. That doesn't happen by chance. That happens by leadership. That happens by committed police officers, and then our engagement within the police department, within the precinct. That's the only way we can get this done. So it's a complete partnership, and we're pretty happy about where we are. I'll start with the big picture. Again, like I said, crime across the precinct has decreased. At the same time, the demand is completely up. I'll talk about some demands that we're going to have in the future coming up, but the demand is just as high as it was 3 or 5 years ago, and we're still hitting home runs in my estimation right now. As we move into 2026, we're going to continue to focus on target-driven enforcement. We're going to use our data to drive where we're going to put our most of our resources, and then we're continuing to build our community, strengthen our community connection through the North County Business Association that we just relaunched with the partners from the Central County Precinct and Jennings. So we're trying to take this from all angles and not just the citizens. Now we need to start tapping into our businesses. Just to give a context of those numbers that I said earlier, I roughly have about 100 officers, including myself. In 2025, we normally answer on a yearly basis between 80 and 90,000 calls. That's roughly about 247 calls a day in that 24-hour period. We clearly have a different setup in the first precinct. The other precincts have days and midnights. We also have a swing shift, and that helps us get through those transitions and help us with these numbers. In 25 alone, I'm going to break those numbers down a little bit for you. That was 68,000 calls to service. Directed calls to services most of the time, what you guys see on your board, and then a little bit over 22,000 proactive incidents that my officers did on their own. So that brings us to that 90,000 total, or close to that 90,000 total. Again, the demand is high, but it also reflects on how engaged our precinct is. Although we still answered 68,000 calls directed, we still were able to put 22,000 self-initiated events on the board as well. So we'll go to crimes against persons. Our numbers, what I did here is I went over the last 3 years. So some of this bends into when I wasn't in the precinct, the majority of it when I was. We were down 5.3%. Homicides continue to trend down, as you see there. You go across that first category compared to the previous years. We've had a significant reduction in firearm-related assaults, which is good for us. However, we continue to see that steady climb, and I think that Captain Mundell even mentioned it, the assaults. The assaults continue to be something I think is going to drive our numbers in every precinct. Most of those situations are going to be behind closed doors, again, like he mentioned. Those are our domestics, those are fights in the schools, those are those type of things that we don't necessarily have our hands directly on, but we still focus on trying to improve those things. We move into, well, maybe not. Nope, didn't want to do hold on, I think we're stuck here. Yeah, we're stuck. There we go. We go into, I'm sorry, we're going to crimes against property. We were down 12.5% there. We saw some strong reductions in a couple of key areas, which I'm very happy that the officers were able to do this. Burglaries, auto crime, and then thefts of property. All those offenses were way down. We are in the streets doing what we need to do, active in the community. So that's a great accomplishment for the men and women of the precinct. As we saw last year, we did have some increase in our strong arm robberies, but overall, over the last three years, as you see there, strong arm robberies have actually gone down. They consistently go down, and we have a couple of strategies that are working. We're going to try to keep implementing those, and hopefully we can keep those numbers trending in that direction. I don't know why this keeps doing that. I think I'm hitting the wrong button. Okay. Crimes against society. This is always going to be one of those things that's going to continue to trend down. Legislation impact this very strongly. And then you'll see the numbers that rise will be that self-initiated stuff when we're talking about drug equipment, drug paraphernalia, and those type of things. If we have self-initiated things going, those numbers are always going to climb. But crimes against society is going to be something we should see continue to go down. ShotSpotter, which is a big tool for us. I know there's been some talk about that particular project and how that's going to be continued to go forward, but we're very happy to have it. We use it very directly in our patrols. So in 2024, there were 6,000 incidents, and then 22,000 rounds were fired. In 2025, that number increased on the incidents to about 6,300. But then we had fewer rounds fired, so 20,000. Not a huge number, but what does it mean? To us, it's not a big blimp for us on the meter, but it does give us an opportunity to identify more patterns, gives us identification of places, times, and then hopefully some offenders, we can get some people prosecuted for firing weapons indiscriminately in our precinct. Our strategy isn't just on enforcement. Obviously, we have to have engagement in that precinct. In order to have engagement, you have to have dedicated staff to do so. My NPOs, my precinct detectives, the sergeants, and everybody that's up there have bought into these walk and talks. They bought into Coffee with a Cop and those other type of engagement ideas that we come up with to try to expand our partnerships throughout the local businesses in the area. This only helps our communication. If we know what our citizens are demanding, we know what our businesses are demanding, then we know where we need to put our resources. So this has been very successful, and it's strengthened our community relationships very good at this point. We're going to continue to have a focus on our youth. So that's our new direction. Our NPOs are going to move towards. We partnered with some schools in the area. We're going to have some dinners with them, family-based events. This is a long-term approach to try to get in touch with these kids early, and hopefully we don't have future problems. That's the goal there. When we look at my neighborhood policing officers, there's 3 of them. They do an amazing job. Officer Buhner, we call him Beans. Paul Hughes, we just call him Paul. And Officer Williams, everyone affectionately calls him Q. This year alone, these three men have absolutely just changed what the quality of life looks like in our precinct. They have written, or they have tagged 378 cars, but they only towed 40. And I know some people will look at that and say, man, why are we not towing more cars? Well, we have a different approach to that. We're reducing the amount of involvement that we have with people in our areas by compliance. So that compliance helps us move forward. So yeah, we could probably tow 378 cars, but if we're only towing 40 and everybody else is compliant, that means that our message is getting through. So I'm very proud of what they do and what Lieutenant Simons and his crew does with his leadership. Okay. So Wildcat Park is our biggest demand that's going to come to us. It's a future demand that we definitely have to look forward to. I think it's an amazing project. I think it's over $400 million has been placed into there. We were just out there yesterday with some key folks to be able to take a look at that. Wildcare Park is projecting to have about 500,000 people there in the first year. That's in 2027. I think yesterday they made mention of a date. I won't say that out loud so they don't kill me, but early part of 2027, we're looking at an increase of people in our area of over 500,000 people. So that's a demand that we have to look forward to. But we are in direct contact with them. We're building plans. We also have some security measures in place. And actually some of the people who used to work for us are now working out there. So that helps us out a lot. We also built a new partnership with our National Archives of Records. That's a humongous facility right in our backyard. We've created a partnership with them, and we're working to understand how we need to approach that building if something was to ever happen of some tragedy of some sort. And then this is just a glimpse of what our breakdown is when it comes to our staffing. I won't go over everything there, but I will say that we do also have the city of Blackjack. I think sometimes they go unnoticed. They have Francis Cardez, and yeah, I call him Francis. He does an amazing job over there. That city is been beautiful to us, and we hope to keep that partnership going for a long time. Again, this is just a quick look at my staff. It has changed since we last spoke. The leadership is still the same, and these men and women do an amazing job for me. They keep as much of this gray down as possible, and they are very committed to the mission of the precinct and the mission of the department. So our priorities as we go into 2026 is going to continue to be to reduce crime, expand our data-driven deployments, strengthen our community engagement, and then prepare for the new demands that we're going to have with Wildcare Park, the archives, and then also the development that's going on in Jamestown Mall. That project up there will bring us a lot of people to the area, including the APA is building I don't know how much money they're spending on that, but they're building a facility just up from our old precinct station. So that's another thing that's going to push us forward. And in my closing, North County Precinct is a process. It's a process for every commander who works there. I think we are making progress in the precinct. We have demands that are different at other precincts, and it does take complete commitment to the mission of the department and the mission of the community up there. We're doing everything that we can to engage with the people, engage with the businesses, and then bring those ideas. My officers are bringing great ideas to keep us enriched in that area. So if you don't have any questions, that's all I have.
I just got one comment. I'd like to congratulate you on your facilities management role. I know you've spent a ton of time and effort over the last year getting our low bidder to fulfill the duties of his contract, but that hasn't gone unnoticed. That's been great work.
Well, I was just going to add that I want to commend you some of the challenges that you've been faced with, particularly in that particular precinct, and you've done well to overcome some of those, so I appreciate it. My second point was that meeting that I attended with the group about the North County Business Association. How did that follow-up go? Because I know that finally a lot of the people showed up that I reached out to a few of them. I just wanted to know if it was successful.
So we were in the process of kind of letting that kind of dust fall on that. We're going to meet again just to kind of see what worked, what didn't work. It was a huge success. I mean, we got people that wanted to donate right on the spot. They realized the commitment that myself and the other commanders have in their precincts, and they're ready to invest. So I'm looking forward to the future of the North County Business Association. Again, it's a work in progress, and we have to take each victory as we get it. And I think the last meeting was a victory.
Whatever I can do to help, let me know. And I want to commend Snyder, too. We talked a little bit after, and I think he has some great ideas about what worked out in the other areas. So I like the fact that all of the precincts are starting to share ideas that are happening in other precincts so that we all can kind of do the same thing. I think sometimes we get in these little silos and we think that what works over here may not work over there, but it's not true. You know, we just have to apply it across the board.
Well done.
Any questions? No. No questions? I know. Thank you. Thanks, sir. All right.
Nope, you were the last.
Chief, anything else?
That's it, sir.
All righty, well, we took care of a couple of items already while totals were being done. Any old business? No? New business. Under new business, we have professional service agreements in our packet, A through O. Assuming that everyone's had a chance to look at those, is there a motion to accept the PSAs as presented?
So moved.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
So I'm not sure anyone here can answer it, but the last two contracts we have are professional service agreements with a county and a city. Are the numbers, the salaries and fringes related to those officers accurate? Does anybody know? So for Jeff County Sheriff's Department, pardon me?
I know the dates are correct. I didn't ask her about the money.
Okay. Okay, thank you, but there's still a significant difference in the two salaries. I mean, not just a little. I mean, we're talking 150% difference. Is that accurate? Okay, I'm good, sir.
Was there a motion?
You got them both.
Okay. Was it second?
We got it.
Okay. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? Okay. Amy, do we have anything for the public forum?
No, sir.
Okay. The Board of Police Commissioners may vote to go into closed meeting for legal advice and review of claims and lawsuits involving the police department and for confidential and privileged communications with counsel, Section 610.0211 RSMO and Sections 114.02011 SLCRO, and to discuss personnel matters closed under Section 610.0213 and Section 114.020.13 SLCRO. Is there a motion to go into closed session? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Commissioner Ashworth?
Yes.
Commissioner Banks?
Yes.
Commissioner Hassler? Yes. Commissioner Thompson? Commissioner Wild?
Yes.
Thank you. We are now in closed session. Are we going to have?
Amy, that's why I hesitated, because I knew that.
We are back in open session. There was only one vote taken in closed session, and that was to return to open session. Our May meeting date is Wednesday, May 20th, for our next meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn this meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
Can we have a vote, please, Amy?
So Commissioner Ashworth?
Yes.
Commissioner Banks?
Yes.
Commissioner Hassler?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson? Commissioner Wild?
Yes.